City Council meeting of Monday, June 19th, 2023 will come to order. Please rise and we will say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, to ask for a motion on the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Agenda approval passes 5-0. On to the consent agenda. And I will read it as written, but I want to get it out there up front that we are going to pull out item D and have a vote on that, a voice vote. So unless there's any objection to that, that's the way we're going to run this thing tonight. Thank you. All right. You have a copy of the minutes from our June 5th, 2023 meeting and the bills and claims. Application for Downtown Retail Business Incubator Program, 14 Carat Studios, 410 Main Avenue, from Joss Rydell, 706 7th Avenue North. We need to set a date of July 3rd, 2023 City Council meeting, and that will be moved to 12 p.m. noon instead of the 6 p.m. normal time for many reasons, but maybe one of the most important, finding a place to park. Moving over to E, once again, approval of bills and claims, which you have a copy of, and now to licenses and permits. Liquor license, Cancun by the Lake, addition of outdoor service area. Class C retail alcohol license, Rotary Club of Clear Lake. Brews on the Beach. Excavators license, Clark Quinn Excavating, which is a new permit. Fireworks permit, Clear Lake Chamber of Commerce, July 4th celebration. Street closing request, Brews on the Beach, July 8th. Clear Lake Antique and Classic Boat Show, July 15th. Clear Lake Noon Lions Chicken Barbecue, July 16th. Clear Lake Arts Sale, July 21st. So minus item D, I will ask for a motion on approving the consent agenda.
So move. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Once again, all in favor, aye, please. Aye.
Aye.
And the consent agenda has passed 5-0. Now, backing up to item D. And this is the South Lakeview Drive Leveler Overlay Project proposal from Heartland Asphalt. Extra work request for additional block from 25th Avenue South to 26th Avenue South. And so, once again, I will ask for a motion to approve this item, and once we get a second, we'll give the council a chance to discuss this, and then we will vote on it. So, is there a motion to approve this item?
So moved. Second.
Okay, so we have a motion from Bennett, second from Dana, to approve the South Lakeview Drive addition. So, having said that, is there some discussion, council? Okay. Well, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Flory, this, whether it passes or doesn't pass, in no way impacts what we passed a week ago in terms of overlaying be the north part of this.
That's correct. This will just continue it for that additional block from 25th Avenue South to 26th Avenue South. Previously, the council authorized essentially the same kind of 1-inch overlay leveler lift, we call it, from basically the Y to 25th.
Yep, okay, thank you for that clarification. And I guess I will make one comment. I'm a little torn which way to vote on this because I voted no against the project a week ago, but then I turned around and suggested if we're going to delay this rebuild of this project, we overlay the whole thing. Well, this is, I guess, kind of a compromise in extending it a block up to the next through street. And so that's kind of where we sit with that. Anyway, I'm going to call for a voice vote. So start with Mark. Mark?
Yes.
And Mike. I voted no last time. I think I have to stick with that. No. Gary?
No.
Bennett?
Yes.
And Dana?
Yes.
Okay. The motion passes 3-2, and we will approve the extension of the overlay project from basically whatever I've always called the Y to 26th Avenue South.
That's correct.
All right, thank you. Okay, now we move on to the citizens' opportunity to address the council on any item not on our agenda, and in conformance with the rules of the council's procedure, no action can occur on this on items presented during this citizen forum. So anyone wishing to be heard, please walk to the podium and state your name and subject to your address, and you're limited to no more than 5 minutes. Okay, don't run over each other getting up here, but okay, none appearing. We will move on to unfinished business, which seems to have a blank by it, so we got through that in a hurry. Good job, Mike. All right. On to new business. Item A. 2022 East Main Avenue Street Reconstruction and Bike Lane Extension Project. Project update and review by Jeremy Kornberg, our Public Works Director. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. Update on the Main Avenue project and bike lane extension. Works substantially complete. We've been watering sod, and the sod has taken root. We were putting out some the signage today, so street signs, no parking, some speed limit, bike lane. The soils there are very soft, so and then we actually had to put some in on the previous section, and it was rock hard. So our watering is doing very well. The sod's taking quite well for that. V&K and Wix are working on some small miscellaneous punch list items, as well as V&K is working with the DOT on some project closeout items. I know they did some cores last week as part of that project, being a DOT funded project as well. And then they'll be going through the Iowa DOT audit phase as well as part of that. For tonight, the pay estimate number 8 includes payment for pavement markings, sod, and then removal of erosion control items. It is on your yellow sheet, and the amount is $26,675 for this pay estimate. That'll bring the project to about 94-95% complete. Any questions?
Questions for Jeremy, Council? Thank you, sir. Okay, and you know that if you're getting tired of looking at brown grass, you should drive that stretch because it's some of the best looking grass in Clear Lake right now. So that congratulations, Public Works, for keeping that thing going the way you have. It looks great, and I'm sure that'll be a real nice feature for the upcoming 4th of July parade. Okay, so what I need is a motion on pay estimate number 8 in the amount of $26,600.75. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Gary, second by Mark. Any discussion, council? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. B, 2023 Street Resurfacing and Alley Paving Project Division 1, project update and review, once again by Jeremy Kornberg. Take it away, Jeremy.
Okay, so 2023 Resurfacing and Alley Project Division 1, this was the mostly the concrete portions of the street repairs in the 1st Avenue North, 2nd Avenue North, 3rd Avenue North district over there. Concrete street repairs and sidewalk ramp work is pretty much complete. They did some seeding last week, however, there was some areas that needed to be touched up, so that's going to be hopefully taking place this week to finish that up. Pay estimate 1 here is for the concrete work they've done on the project. It's anticipated that the next pay estimate will be the final pay app for Division 1. Obviously, this is a project that got split up in 2 divisions, and I'll have an update on the actual overlay in the Public Works portion later. But the pay app for this one is in your pink sheet, and the amount due on this is $383,104.13.
Once again, any questions, council? Okay, thank you, sir. So, need a motion to approve the pay estimate of, and who are we actually approving it to? Wix Construction, thank you. To Wix Construction in the dollar amount of $383,104.13. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Dana, seconded by Gary. Any discussion, council? Only comment, my wife's always excited when I come home and tell her that we just spent over $400,000 tonight. And anyway, easy come, easy go, I guess. All right, once again, all in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. C, Bash at the Lake Special Event Application and Street Closure Request, July 29th. Review of request by Star Benjamin and Michael Eichmann. Hopefully I got that right.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Council, for hearing this. I am here on behalf of United to Serve with Passion and Purposes, a 501c3 nonprofit organization founded by Brad Barber of Cabin Coffee. And Brad is not able to be here this evening, so I'm here. And I am excited to share about an event that we are hosting, sponsoring, and in cooperation with many amazing volunteers from different organizations and different businesses here in Clear Lake. This is called Bash at the Lake. We are going to have this on July 29th from 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. This is an experience for families, really an event that is really meant for children and families. They're going to be able to experience live Christian music and local vendors. We're going to have a mobile Chick-fil-A there and plenty of games and entertainment. We are, this festival is really going to bring together different Christian bands, which they're pretty well-known bands. It kind of starts where Bash on the Farm left off a few years ago. If you are familiar with their group, Cindy Walker is also helping us with this in organizing some of the bands. One Vision has partnered with us to help coordinate all the activities, and they are going to be activities that will be available for individuals of all abilities. So we are excited about that. One of the bands is called Go Fish. They were a pretty popular band in the 90s and 2000s. Now they do exclusively Christian music for children. And so they have offered their Vacation Bible School. We'll be doing a community-wide Vacation Bible School the week before, and then that will end with Go Fish actually being there. They're from the Nashville area. And so they will be here to be at the event. Another band is, well, our headliner band that we can't really announce yet, but we are so excited about this. It is a well-known international Christian folk rock worship band, which promises to create an extraordinary experience, and, you know, I think will draw quite a crowd to this area. So I would like to invite Michael to come up and just share a little bit about our request for the logistics here.
Well, thank you for listening to our request. So the map up here is pretty relevant to what our request was. I think that
This is actually the July 4th map. This is not your map.
Not your
Yeah.
map.
I see all
Yeah.
the restricted or permit parking and stuff. What we're looking for is less than what this is. Do you guys have a copy of that?
They do in their packets, yes.
Okay. So we are looking, some of our concerns, so the draw, I don't know if anybody's given you numbers, but the draw on this for our headliner realistically could be 5,000 to 7,000 people in the downtown area. And, you know, one of our concerns, our major concerns is safety. This being a Christian, family-based event, there's going to be a tremendous amount of kids, and not closing off the Lakeview with the activities and stuff going that may be at the beach or at the lily pad during the day, because being an all-day event, you know, families are going to come out, they're going to be in the park, they're going to be at the activities, they may go down to the lake, so there's going to be a lot of foot traffic. So one of our concerns with that amount of traffic would be the safety of pedestrians and stuff, and children as well. The other part is sanitation. We have a beautiful downtown city park. There is no good place to put dumpsters and porta potties. So being able to get them off of the main street or off of Lakeview, you know, certainly opens up the atmosphere to the event overall as well. And really, you know, the Lakeview becomes a Lakeview, so. You guys have any questions for me?
I guess I do. What is your plan for, I guess it'd be Main Avenue from the VFW to the boat ramp? That seems to be closed also.
That is going to be vendors.
Okay.
That'll actually be going, let me pull my other map out, please. So, can I walk over that map?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So vendors are gonna be going from about here all the way up to 3rd Street. Our goal is to keep this path open for youth and families crossing over to the lily pads and the beach and stuff like that without having any sort of risk or anything like that. So we want to be able to keep this flow and not block the yacht club and all of that. So by having the vendors in through here and down in here is where we're looking at putting the sanitation and the porta potties.
Okay, that makes sense, but as long as we're talking about it, I'm not really sure about North 3rd and the rest of First Avenue North there. I mean, those are closed off in your map too. And you're going to eliminate a large number of parking spaces if you close those off. In my mind, the only time we ever close those off is when the carnival surrounds the park completely. Now, I may be wrong. Maybe somebody's got a different perspective on that, but any other thoughts or comments?
Well, I would just concur with Mayor Pro Tem in terms of the concern on the degree of closure that we have there. Now, I would also say, just to start off with, I think this is going to be a fantastic event. So let me get that out of the way. And I appreciate you folks coming and sponsoring it and the whole 9 yards. So I think it will be really quite the event. But having said that, I think there's a legitimate concern here regarding traffic flow and the number of parking spaces. So I guess what I'm wondering is if we could perhaps hold off on approving the parking or the street closing until our next meeting, Mayor Pro Tem, if the council would decide that. But those are just my thoughts. Thank you.
Anybody else with a
I
comment?
have a tendency to agree with Bennett. I think we need to table this till the next meeting, put a little more thought into it.
Yeah.
First Avenue, I don't believe needs to be shut down.
Well, and then the piece of North Shore from First Avenue down to Second Avenue. I mean, once again, it makes a lot of sense with the carnival. They've got generators and trucks backed in there, and you can't go anywhere. But you know, we're eliminating parking spots, and we're closing off a pretty good traffic flow in the downtown area. And during the 4th of July with the carnival set up there, it's necessary, but unless you've got a specific purpose for those things we just talked about being closed, I think we'd like to think about that. I don't think anybody has a problem with North Lakeview the way you're talking, where you're talking, or Third Avenue with the vendors, which basically creates your vendor area as well as your pedestrian flow just fine. And maybe even, you know, North Lakeview parking dumpsters and I don't know, getting the possibility of getting your band set up out of that area too. But unless you've got a different comment on the other, I guess maybe we need to table the rest of that and think about it and get back to you. Or what do you think, Dana?
Well, Michael, I'm curious, have you been talking to the chief or somebody else to work on these closures, just to get the idea of the traffic flow and what you would need to accomplish the event?
Yeah, I believe Creighton Schmidt had been in contact with the police department. We have been in contact with the fire department as well and EMS. So,
Can I just ask, will that time frame work for you guys in terms of, we want to collaborate with you here for sure and make this a very safe and productive event, but does that work with the kind of the schedule you guys have?
we can,
I'm just, is the concern the parking, is that the main reason?
That's part of it,
Part of it.
and a little bit of a traffic flow. And, you know, once again, you've got some very legitimate reasons for the closure of Third and the closure of North Lakeview there. But we've heard nothing about the others, and they're just red lines on the map that,
so I have another map that has the actual activities laid out. Is that something you would like to see?
might be helpful.
Sure.
My imagination can't come up with these things.
Thank you.
Michael, do you have anything else other than this sheet that you gave us? Because this is making a little more sense. You got a dunk tank, inflatables, you got a lot more, excuse me, than just the food vendors that you would like to close the streets for. So this,
Yeah, there is a tremendous amount of activities that we are planning to put on in connection with One Vision. You know, we've got 2 nationally recognized bands that are going to be at this event. And, you know, we're looking at, you know, with the amount of people, anywhere from 8 to 12 food vendors alone, food, treats, whatever. There's inflatables. And if you look at the east end, you'll see the sidewalks cross, and I'm going to go over that map just to kind of point it out a little bit more. So our goal is, because of the size of the event that's coming and the bands that are coming, our goal is to isolate all the activities on the east end of the sidewalk. So that as pedestrians start coming, they can start filling in this area. As this starts to fill up, a lot of this will start to be tore down before all the bands start playing, especially the main band that will be at the point. So transitionally, we should be able to have most of this start to be tore down before the headliner starts, and that's one of our goals. So it was by design, creating all of this with the activities and leaving this open intentionally so that this space can start to fill up as we're starting to tear things down.
Council, any comments, questions, concerns?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Mayor Pro Tem, if it might be worthwhile to have a meeting with these folks and yourself. And Dana, I know you guys met for the 4th of July parking, I believe, with the police. Would that be something that you think would be profitable here to coordinate this for?
Well, I think that's, first of all, I think your concept of sitting on this till our next meeting is an excellent choice, because there are, I mean, this is a revelation we didn't have till right now.
Right.
And here
I
it
agree.
is, and we're trying to navigate a variety of things. I mean, yeah, I mean, I was naive enough to think it was a concert, but it's like the state fair or something. So here we go. It's Thursday. Thursdays on Main on steroids. So
The zip line is going to start on North Shore, about your house. They're going to take off from your
Well, there
porch
you
to the
go.
upper level and go right downtown.
I think you're going to have to use the Kingland House because it's got more height than mine. So, yeah. See, this is another interesting concept for me because this is my neighborhood, and so we get all the extras. So there you go. Well, Council, I think that's a good idea. Unless there's an objection, we will table the final decision on this and try to get together with acting chief of police and maybe someone, and if somebody would arrange that meeting.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to go ahead and make the motion, Mayor Pro Tem, to go ahead and table this,
Yep.
if there's a second.
Second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Okay,
I
motion.
do have one question, though. What's Striders? What is that?
Little bikes.
Little bike?
Pedals.
Okay.
They have them on Thursdays on Main.
You should
My
see them
grandpa
on
doesn't know
Thursday.
all these terms.
You should see them on Thursdays at Maine. It's quite
Okay.
entertaining because there's a line of children waiting for those.
Michael, one more question.
Yes.
In the corner here, you have handicap parking in 2 areas. Is that the plan, to close the streets but also have some parking for handicap?
Some additional handicap parking. There will be some children there with special needs, which we'll need to keep them a little bit closer. So that was the intent, yes.
Have you got any thought of some sort of, what am I trying to say here? Transportation from some of the remote parking areas to the downtown? 'Cause-
Shuttle.
Yeah, a
That's
shuttle,
actually-
thank you.
That's actually something we'll be discussing this
Okay.
Thursday, some alternative parking venues.
Yeah, because obviously the downtown area is somewhat limited, and with the crowd you're talking about, there could be a few vehicles around. So, all right, good job, thank you, and we'll look forward to a very successful event, but we'll get back to you on the rest of this, I
We
guess.
have a motion.
We had a motion and a second, and did we vote?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess unless there's any more discussion, we'll vote. All in favor of tabling this until our July 3rd meeting and potentially having a meeting to discuss the nuts and bolts of it before then. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion successfully passes 5-0. And we have tabled item C for the time being. Thank you. Interim Chief of Police Colby's report. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem
Yeah.
and Council. I will add, I've been asked to sit in the dunk tank already for this event, so I think I'll be up there. So.
That'll be popular.
If approved, though, I think myself, I think Chief Brinkley from Mason City has been asked, along with some other officials too. So I'm sure there's some open slots if anybody wants to jump in.
I hope Scott's
for the
in
day.
there.
He's starting us out when it's nice and cold in the morning, right?
Yeah,
Wants to dunk me.
oh yeah, I will.
One or two smiles up there, so you better watch it. A couple of things before we get to the actual item listed there. We talked last time I was up here about our new AEDs we had ordered. They did arrive just today, so they'll be deployed here as soon as Kelsey Foster, our dispatcher that runs that program for us, is back from vacation and can get them all programmed. This Wednesday, our newest dispatcher, Matthew Adams, will start. He'll spend the day with Aaron, getting some administrative stuff done, and then he'll go right into training with Brandon Duran. So you'll see him out and about. He is a Clear Laker, graduated from Clear Lake High School, so some of you may recognize his name or see a familiar face. The other thing, I think several of you may have heard through different media outlets or through us, our ticketing program that we have been spearheading with the Iowa State Extension Office. We did bring some flyers in case anybody wants to sign up today, but they had their second set of drawings today, and again, Clear Lake is leading the winners category with 2 of the 3 residents that were drawn today were from Clear Lake too. So that's, I think, bodes well for our community. And then the last thing, we had the meeting we talked about just a minute ago on your last item for the July 4th map. There's a couple of changes up there. Most notably is the parking along the water department will be left open. We will move those vendors to the senior center lot, which the city owns and has control over. We have it completely blocked off on the map here, but I would foresee we not need that entire lot. So once we have them situated, once setup starts on the 28th, we'll open some of that lot back up there. So I'll add some additional parking too. And then we also had some discussion for ingress and egress to the north side of the park there. So we're going to, typically we have all of 2nd Avenue North blocked between North Shore and North 3rd Street for parking, and we're going to limit that to just one side. And they're also going to limit the parking to just one side on North, or on 3rd Avenue North there as well. And so we'll strategically place that parking for people that are coming and going from the park, especially on the night of the 4th after the fireworks. It's a pretty good traffic jam through there. So I think allowing an additional lane of travel for both of those, or on 3rd Avenue North there, will hopefully help out on that north side there a little bit as well. We've had lots of good comments about our ADA parking, so we've extended that a little bit there on which South 3rd, you'll see going between 1st Avenue North and Main there. So that will help those with ADA that need to get a little bit closer there, to be a little bit closer to the events too. Other than that, there's not a lot of changes. We tweaked some dates, and I think the permit, after meeting with the chamber, is actually showing a closure on the 28th instead of the 29th when the event begins. So they have the full day, the 28th, to set up, and the public has enough notice that the setup stuff will happen on the 28th. In the past, it was the day of the event, and it was some confusion with some residents that were knowing that the closure was approved for the day of the event starting, not just the day before for setup too. So that's really all the changes. I'll just say we've worked with council members, the chamber, public works, water department, going through this map, and I think everybody has some positive feedback from it, so I'd encourage you to approve it as it sits there. Any questions on the map or changes that we did for this year?
Council, any questions or comments?
I don't have any questions, but I do want to commend the people that worked on this for the amount of handicap parking that's being done this year for those people. We've lacked that in the past.
Yeah, we've noticed that, and so that's why we've extended some of the parking there as well.
That's great. Fantastic.
Good point.
I just wanted to say thanks, Mike, for the collaboration with multiple people getting together and working on it. And not being surprised at the last minute, and it's definitely important to get together and work on that beforehand. Works out well, thank you.
Thank you.
And I got to collaborate, so I'm real happy about Third. For several years, I've watched people discover reverse in their car trying to maneuver Third Avenue North up and down that hill with parking on both sides. It was a nightmare, so this is going to be very helpful. Thank you.
One last thing, I guess, before I close, is we have started our issuing our permits for the area up in your neighborhood there for the residents there. That's been worked out very well for us in the last couple of years, and
Are they available now?
Paul will be in tomorrow from 8 to noon, and he's
Okay.
spearheading that for us. He started taking lists today, and
All right.
so yeah, if just the way we're doing it, you get your information into him.
Yep.
He gets the permits made up, and he'll either drop them off at your house or have them picked up there. So
All right. Thank you.
he's
That's,
in on Wednesday, and then he's in tomorrow, and then again on Thursday.
yeah, that's pretty important to the people in my neighborhood who, especially those that depend on street parking with summer cottages and such around there. So, yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, I guess all you really need is a head nod that we approve of all of this. So, everybody good on this? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Third appearance. Public Workers Director. Might be a record.
Thank you. Just a quick update on, I mentioned earlier, Division 2 of the street resurfacing project that we have starting. We had a pre-con meeting last week on June 7th. Couple highlights from that. They were given a notice to proceed on the project. The start date is July 10th, so hopefully they are starting right around that time. They do have a completion date of August 25th, so pretty short window there. They should, once they start, move through it pretty quickly and be done before school activities start, so there should be very limited impact for that. As far as homeowners and people that are in the area, Heartland has agreed that, and typical to overlay projects like this, they maintain local access as best they can. Obviously, when they're on the street doing their millings, they'll go through mill. If it happens to be, they're not going to get it overlaid that day. It's usually like a 2-inch mill, so there will be access that day or when they get done. Primarily, the only time there's zero access is immediately after or during their overlay project. They got to wait for that those levels to or the asphalt to cool before anybody drives on it. So there's usually just a window of time there after the immediate overlay that there would be no access. So, but I know in the years past, these overlays, once they get going, they do a pretty good job and they keep moving. So I would see once it gets started, it has a pretty short window. Other than that, not much else to update you on. So unless you have any questions for me.
Council? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, on to the mayor's report. A couple of folks I know out there just dying to speak to us, so Mr. Chad Schreck of the Corridor will let you lead off.
We better start. Try. All right, no, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, appreciate it. A few minutes here. I'll be quick. Just want to make sure that you guys are all aware of our annual meeting coming up Thursday over at the Surf Ballroom, 11:30 to 1 o'clock. Really looking forward to that. Our theme is Destination North Iowa, really trying to highlight the Surf District project, the Mason City Bike Trail project. Again, just celebrate the fact that we pulled in over 9% of that $100 million statewide fund in our communities. I think is a really big deal and can be some transformational projects. So excited for that. RDG Consulting, who's working on the Surf District project as well as the Joint Comprehensive Plan, will be our keynote speaker. So they're going to be giving a real overview of the importance of the quality of life and amenity projects that the communities have been working on. The investments that these cities have been making, I think, are incredibly important to our future community economic development and growth. So I think they're really well served and situated to share those things. So excited for people to see some of that. We also have another event coming up in partnership with NIAC and First Citizens Bank called the North Iowa Rural Development Summit. That'll be August 17th at the Mason City Arena. And really the goal for this is to pull people from across North Iowa. And we've got a keynote speaker, Dr. David Cole, who is formerly of the University of Virginia Tech. He's really a renowned agricultural and rural economic development, a rural economist, so has some really good insights into the current climate and economy, what we're seeing. We also have Debbie Durham confirmed to speak at our event, as well as the USDA Director for the state, Teresa Greenfield. Emily Schmidt from SUCA is going to be involved, Dr. Steve Schultz from NIAC, so we'll have some kind of state and national panel as well as a more localized one. So it should be a really great day from 11 till 4 o'clock. So trying to make that a big thing and really excited to see where that can go. And again, try to pull people together, surrounding counties and communities. We've got all the economic development partners from around the region involved as well. I just want to kind of take that leadership role in the center of the region as we should serve as Mason City Clear Lake. So really looking forward to that opportunity. A lot of positive activity, not a lot of new updates on the housing things. You guys are well aware of the significant housing projects and progress being made here locally. Actually, we do have a groundbreaking over in Mason City Kitty Corner of where the Kirk Apartments were for the Federal Avenue Row Home project. That's 11 new units. So it is nice to see some activity going on next to that to at least fill some of the void left by those units being lost. But a lot of activity on housing, a lot of positive activity continues on the economic project activity. We, of course, had the public event here a couple weeks ago for New Energy Freedom Project, just west of Golden Grain Energy. That's the cellulosic ethanol and renewable plastics research project. So really excited about the prospects on that one. Moving forward here over the next 6 to 8 months. And those are the main things, unless there's any questions for me right now.
Questions, Council? Thank you, Mr. Schreck. Just one quick comment. He brought up bike trails, and the one little part of all of that Clear Lake ended up with is a connection between the end of Three Sisters Prairie and Dogwood Avenue out on the usually racy B35 south of town. And it's not totally complete, but it's real close. The pavement is done. It needs some markings, and they're going to, from what I understand, do a rumble strip along it, but it is rideable. I've been on it several times now, and I think it's going to be a wonderful improvement for anyone that wants to navigate around the lake with especially young children, because there's going to be a little higher degree of safety outside of the concept of being on a county blacktop road where highway traffic speeds are happening. So I'm pretty excited about that. Stacy Don, Clear Lake Chamber, welcome.
Council, Mayor Pro Tem, I want to echo the comments regarding Acting Chief Colby and his cooperation with the Chamber and communicating regarding all of the parking. It was a pretty seamless process, and really appreciate him taking the time to sit down with us and talk through how we can improve, the way we serve our community through events like the 4th of July. So the 4th of July, Carnival opens in 10 days. It's hard to believe, but we are going to have a opening ceremonies on Thursday, June 29th at 4:30. So I'd invite all of you down to the band shell. We'll be cutting the ribbon on the event. We'll be honoring the Evans family for their 50 years, coming to Clear Lake, and then we'll hopefully watch the Ferris wheel take off at 5 o'clock. So we're excited to honor them, show our appreciation to them and the impact that they have on our community. Another note that I talked about at the quarterly coffee, but I thought I would share here as well, is we received our first quarter hotel motel tax revenue numbers from the state, and that represents January through March, and Clear Lake saw a 54% increase in hotel motel tax revenue over the previous year, which just goes to show that Clear Lake is continuing to grow as a destination that people want to travel to all year round and not just in the summer months. So that's outstanding, and that's on top of the previous year, which was 53% year over year and 78% the year before. So we just have been on a really great growth trajectory in terms of the revenue that we're bringing into our community. I did want to talk quick about the Bash at the Lake team here. I've had the opportunity to sit in on a number of their meetings, and I can't tell you how amazing it is for this group of individuals to put together a event of this magnitude in such a short amount of time. And we're talking a lot of money that they've been able to raise in order to secure a band like the one they were speaking of. And so it will be a fantastic draw to our community. The fact that they have embraced the One Vision partnership with open arms. One Vision was supposed to have an event that day to raise funds and knew that the events would be competing. So then they welcomed One Vision with open arms into their event, which will just elevate One Vision's event as well. And so it'll be all around, it'll just be really great for the community. It'll be great to have, and this type of event where families can come and they don't have to pay anything. Everything, all the activities and all of those sorts of things will be free except for the fundraising portion. So very excited about it. Looking forward to hearing the outcome of your meeting and happy to sit on that if you guys have any questions about that as well. I think that's all of my chicken scratch, unless there's anybody who has any questions.
Any questions, Council? Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Yep. We're moving on. We need to approve the appointment of Talitha Allen, 517 Lexicon Drive, to the Library Board of Trustees for the term ending July 1, 2029. So I guess I need a motion for that approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motions have been, any discussion? Once again, all in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Appointment passes 5-0. And then the reappointment of one Bev Courier, 711 North 3rd Street, for the term ending July 1st, 2029. Just a little sidelight comment. Bev was in my graduating class, so well, I could go on, but might be embarrassing to both of us. No, I'm just kidding. She's a great gal, and we really appreciate people like her who's been on that library board for quite some time. And
We didn't realize Beth was that old.
no one, I mean, she hides it better than I do. I just right in there with older than dirt. Anyway, we need a motion for Bev.
So moved.
Yeah, we got that covered. All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye, please. Aye. And that one passes 5-0. And we're on to the city administrator's report, which is usually long-winded, but maybe tonight we'll catch a break.
Catching a break tonight, Your Honor. I don't have anything else. Anyone has any questions?
Scott,
Yeah.
I have something to bring up. The map that we were showing for the 4th of July, can we get that published in the paper?
Sure. Are you going to do it in the
Somehow.
newsletter too?
Good idea. And
Well, I'm.
is it on the
The
website
handicap
too?
really turns me on, and it'd be nice for those people to know where they can go
Sure.
to.
No, see what we can do there.
Good idea, Gary. All right, anything else for the good of the order? We're adjourned. Thank you.